One of the most confusing stages of being single is the stage where you're wondering when and how God is going to send you a spouse. Most times the thought can even become more frustrating as your heart has been broken before. It makes it more difficult because when you think of everything that you've been through, you begin to doubt if God is ever going to send you a spouse, or you begin to think if something's wrong with you. Don't worry, you're not alone in this, and this feeling is normal. But the truth that you find hard to see is that God is going to send someone. Here are 5 signs that will let you know that God will bring a new person who will be your spouse. Number 1. When your heart is completely healed from your previous heartbreak. The most difficult part of every heartbreak is completely letting go of all the pain and hurt you had to go through. To completely forgive and forget the things that your previous partner did to you. God is not going to bring someone into your life when He knows that you're still hurting. That because He knows that person would only be a rebound for you. And when you meet someone who gives you something more, then you would be quick to just drop them. Completely healed from your brokenness is when you no longer feel the pain, when you think or hear the name, when you've moved on and discovered other meaning to life without the person in it, when you've become a better version of yourself that you are proud of, and lastly, when your heart is open to love again. My dear, if you're witnessing all these emotions, then be at peace and prepare your heart because God is bringing someone new who is going to be your spouse. The wait is almost over. Number 2. When you realize and accept that the love of Christ is enough. No greater love on this planet can be compared to the one that the Father has already given. Most times, we struggle with emptiness and loneliness because we have put our complete trust and love in a person, and when they finally leave you, you feel empty, as if there is nothing else in the world and nobody would be capable of loving you as they did. Even though God created the need for intimacy in us so that we will all need each other, He still wants to have the top priority in your life compared to anybody or anything. The Bible, speaking in Exodus chapter 34 verse 14, says, "For you shall worship no other God. For the Lord, whose name is a jealous, impassioned God." The kind of God that we're serving is a jealous God, and He alone has the right to be jealous. That's because He created and formed you the way you are for a specific purpose, and no one can love you as He does. So I know that there are certain times that God allows certain things to happen to us so that we'll be able to return to our first love, and for us to realize that there is no greater love like His. His love gives peace and fulfillment, and with Him, you can be sure that there is no heartbreak because He never changes. So when you have gotten to the stage when you have but the love of Christ as your top priority and nothing is capable of shaking that relationship that you have with Him, then you are ready. So be rest assured that this is a sign that God will bring a new person who is going to be your spouse. Number 3. When you no longer see looks as a criterion for a spouse. Before you see me as some kind of primitive person who has no taste of fashion, I want to let you know that although looks are important, that should not just be the reason why you fall in love easily with just anybody without considering whether they're of good character or if you people are meant to be together. Many single today have fallen into the hands of the wrong partners because they fell for their looks. Beloved, looks can be deceiving, so be on your guard so that you would not be taken unaware. The Bible, speaking in 1 Samuel chapter 16 verse 7, "But the Lord said to Samuel, Don't judge by the appearance or height, for I have rejected him." The Lord doesn't see things the way you see them. People judge by outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. The looks of a man or a woman is not what matters, but their character, which comes from the heart, and that's what God looks at. So when you have also gotten to that stage that you're no longer after the way a person looks, or you no longer fall in love with someone because of their looks, then it proves that you have become more ready for a new relationship. Marriage is deeper than just looks, and you will need more than how you look to even keep the marriage. So my dear, when you are at this junction, then you're ready, and this is a sign that God will bring a new person who will be your spouse. Number 4, you have become selfless. To be able to love another person means to be able to put another person's needs before yours, to be able to care for someone without expecting any form of appreciation, and also to be willing to give wholeheartedly without any grumbling and expecting something in return. I know when you look back from the way that you were some years back and how you are now, then you would agree that yes, God has been working in you gradually to be able to remove any form of selfishness that you have inside of you. In a world where people are no longer concerned about the other person's needs and all they think about is just themselves, and that's why marriage no longer lasts, Christ would not be bringing someone new into your life when he knows that you are still struggling not to be selfish. The book of John, chapter 3, verse 16 says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes him would not die but have everlasting life." A popular verse that we all know, but let me draw your attention to the word given. For there to be a true relationship in the aspect of love, there have to be giving in it. You cannot say you love when giving is still a problem for you. So my dear, if you are also at this stage where you've become selfless, then be rest assured that it's a sign that God will bring a new person who will be your spouse. Number 5, when you no longer insist on having your way all the time. I know firsthand that before you got to this stage, it took a lot of disciples because you had to forego your idea even when you knew it's the easiest and the answer to getting the problem solved whenever you're in a group. But because you understood that you cannot always have things go your way, you're now comfortable with doing things with another person's idea. Trust me, that's a whole new level of maturity, and not everyone is willing to have things done any other way if not theirs. The word of God says in Amos chapter 3 verse 3, "Do two walk together except they make an appointment and have agreed?" This means that two people cannot walk together if they do not agree, and to agree means meeting in the middle when you both are making decisions. To agree on means bending down for the other persons to rule, because there cannot be two captains controlling a ship at the same time. God would not be bringing someone your way if he knows you're not capable of trusting other people's decisions and being happy to work with them to bring that goal into existence. When you look at your life right now and compare it to the way that you were and realize that you are at this stage, then be getting prepared, because God is about to do something that would put a smile on your face. Marriage is a beautiful thing when you're in it with the right person who God has carefully refined just for you. Don't be in a haste to just settle down for anything that looks like love. Be sure that this is it. This is what God has promised me. I know God never forces a spouse on us. He only shows us the right person. He will allow you to choose, so you better be sensitive to the Spirit. And lastly, marriage is a lifetime commitment, so be sure that you are truly capable before you can make that sentence, "I do." Forever is too long to be enduring, and trust me, forever is too long to also be unhappy. If you are experiencing all these signs above, then be excited, because God is bringing a new person who will be your spouse, the one you have been waiting for.